Elon Musk is losing his mind. The billionaire meltdown no one can ignore. Elon Musk used to be the tech world's golden child. He was the eccentric billionaire who was going to take us to Mars, revolutionize transportation, and make artificial intelligence his personal assistant. He had an army of fanboys who worshipped him like a god. But something has changed, and not in a good way. In the past couple of years, Musk has gone from a brilliant, if slightly awkward tech mogul to a full-blown internet troll, a right-wing political loudmouth, and a guy who seems more obsessed with tweeting about Dogecoin than actually running his companies. His businesses are tanking, his investors are furious, and his credibility is crumbling faster than a Tesla on autopilot. What happened to Elon Musk? Let's break it all down. 1. Twitter, now X, turned Musk into a full-time conspiracy theorist. Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter because it was a good business move. He bought it because his ego couldn't handle people making fun of him. Years, Twitter users had been calling Musk out for his exaggerations, his failed promises, and his general habit of acting like a genius while constantly getting things wrong. So what did Musk do? He spent $44 billion just to shut them up. And what did he do once he got control? He ran it straight into the ground. He fired half the staff within weeks, claiming they weren't needed, only to beg some of them to come back when he realized he had no idea how to run the platform. He turned the verification system into a joke, making it a pay-to-play scheme that led to fake accounts impersonating major brands and causing companies like Eli Lilly to lose billions in stock value. He drove away advertisers with his erratic decisions, leading to a massive revenue collapse. And worst of all, he turned X into a personal playground for his fragile ego. Musk has spent the last year suspending journalists, banning users who criticize him, and even punishing accounts that track his private jet. He claimed to be a free speech absolutist, but it turns out that free speech only applies when people are kissing his ass. At this point, Twitter X is no longer a social media company. It's Musk's personal diary, and he's running it like a billionaire midlife crisis.
Obviously, for most of the traditional media companies, and made them more desperate to get clicks, to get attention, and it's made them when they're in sort of a desperate state, they will then tend to really push headlines that get the most clicks, whether those headlines are accurate or not. So it's resulted, in my view, I think most people would agree, a less truthful, less accurate news. Because they just got to get a rise out of people, and I think it's also increased the negativity of the news because I think we humans instinctually respond more to I think we have an instinctual negative bias, which kind of makes sense in that, like, if like, let's say, like, it's more important to remember where was the lion or where was the tribe that wants to kill my tribe than where is the bush with berries.
Yes. Like,
one's like a permanent negative outcome, and the other is like, well, I might go hungry. So, meaning that there's an asymmetry in sort of involved asymmetry in negative versus positive stuff. And also historically, the negative stuff would have been quite proximate, like it would have been near, represented a real danger to you as a person if you heard negative news. Because historically, like a few hundred years ago, we're not hearing about what negative things are happening on the other side of the world or on the other side of the country. We're hearing about negative things in our village. Things that could actually have a bad effect on you. Whereas now we're hearing about, the news very often seems to attempt to answer the question, what is the worst thing that happened on Earth today? And you wonder why you're sad after reading that,
Do you read any legacy media outlets?
I really get most of my news from Twitter at this point. It is the number one news source, I think, in the world at this point.
What percentage of your staff did you fire at Twitter? One of the great business stories of the year.
I think we're about 20% of the original size.
So 80% left.
Yes.
So
I mean, a lot of people voluntarily.
Sure. But it's 80% are gone from the day you took
That's
over.
correct, yes.
So how do you run the company with only 20% of the staff?
It turns out you don't need that many people to run Twitter.
But 80%? That's a lot.
Yes. If you're not trying to run some sort of glorified activist organization and you're not care that much about censorship, then you can really let go of a lot of people, it turns out.
How many others, without naming names, but how many, I had dinner with somebody who runs a big company recently who said, I'm really inspired by Elon. And I said, the free speech stuff? He goes, no, the firing the staff stuff.
Yeah.
How many?
2. Tesla is falling apart while Musk plays with Dogecoin. Remember when Tesla was the hottest stock in the world? When people believed it would revolutionize the car industry and leave competitors in the dust? Those days are over. Tesla's stock has lost over 50% of its value in the past year, and investors are losing patience. Sales in major markets like China and Europe are tanking. Competitors are catching up fast, and even hardcore Tesla fans are starting to ask if Musk has lost his touch. So what is Musk doing to fix it? Absolutely nothing. Instead of focusing on Tesla's problems, he's too busy hyping Dogecoin like a 16-year-old on Reddit. Every time Tesla's stock dips, Musk tries to pump Dogecoin with a tweet, causing a temporary price spike before it inevitably crashes again. And guess what? He doesn't care. Musk has openly admitted that he just likes Dogecoin because it's funny, which would be fine if he weren't constantly using it to distract people from the fact that Tesla is in deep trouble. But let's not forget the self-driving debacle. Musk has been promising full self-driving for nearly a decade, swearing that Teslas were just a few updates away from being fully autonomous. Reality check? Tesla's full self-driving is still a dangerous mess, and regulators are starting to crack down. The lawsuits are piling up, safety concerns are getting worse, and even long-time Tesla owners are getting fed up with Musk's endless excuses.
You know, the Treasury or Social Security or USAID. How does it work? Let the public know, please.
Right. Well, we just basically follow the money. We look at the president's executive orders, and we also just follow the money. So we started looking closely at USAID because they were completely violating the president's executive orders to suspend foreign aid. What's called foreign aid, but in our view is a lot of corruption. So what we saw there is just a tremendous amount of money being sent to non-governmental organizations. But actually, this, by the way, is I think one of the biggest sources of fraud in the world is government-funded non-governmental organizations. This is a gigantic fraud loophole where the government can give money to an NGO, and then there are no controls over that NGO. So they've given billions of dollars, in fact, we estimate tens of billions of dollars to NGOs that are essentially scams. And
By the way,
we're trying to put a stop to that. So
I don't want to interrupt, but Secretary of State Rubio has just come out, I think he tweeted today, he has accepted over 80% of your recommendations to shut down in USAID.
Right.
So your review and analysis was spot on.
Yes. So I think when people criticize, say, what Doge is doing, we say, well, which part specifically? Because we put all of the actions of the Doge team on the Doge.gov website and on the Doge handle on X. So we post the receipts. So it's like this action has been taken, this action has been taken. So when we get criticism, we say, like, of what? Which line do you disagree with? Like which cost saving do you disagree with? And then people usually can't think of any.
No.
So
it's transparent line by line.
It's transparent line by line,
which is quite remarkable.
Right. And so, and then with respect to the Treasury, for example, the two main recommendations we suggested, which have now been implemented, was that any payments going out of the Treasury, especially the Treasury's main payment computer, which is called PAM, things like a payments account manager or something like that, but it's like almost $5 trillion a year, so about $1 billion an hour. that the payments be coded with the congressional appropriation, and that there be an explanation for the payment. Very basic stuff. And just doing that, we estimate will save $100 billion a year.
You're not really, let me see if I get this right, particularly with Social Security, you're not really changing policy.
No, yes.
You're auditing the fiscal...
3. The free speech hypocrite who can't handle criticism. Elon Musk loves to talk about free speech. In his mind, he's the last hope for open discussion, the great defender of free expression against the evil forces of wokeness. Reality: Musk is one of the most thin-skinned billionaires on the planet. Since taking over Twitter, X, he has banned journalists for reporting on him, suspended users for making fun of him, removed verification badges from people who mock him, blocked critics who point out his lies. Free speech? More like Musk speech. The man can't handle being questioned. If anyone dares to challenge him, whether it's about Tesla, X, or his awful business decisions, they're immediately silenced. This isn't a tech genius running a company. It's a billionaire throwing a tantrum every time someone hurts his feelings.
Have a look at how Elon Musk exposes the same sort of lazy narrative spinning by a BBC journalist.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
Personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
actually, a lot of people are quite similar. I only look
well,
at
hang on
my
a second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
4. His obsession with Trump and the far right is killing his reputation. Musk used to be a guy who played both sides politically. He was pro-environment, pro-space exploration, and kind of libertarian. But now, he's just another right-wing mouthpiece. He spends more time ranting about pronouns than he does fixing his failing businesses. He openly supports conspiracy theorists, pushes far-right talking points, and is one of Donald Trump's biggest financial backers. And here's the problem. Tesla's biggest customer base leans liberal. A lot of people who used to support Musk, environmentalists, progressives, tech enthusiasts, are now actively avoiding Tesla because they don't want to be associated with him. Meanwhile, Musk keeps alienating his own customers by treating his businesses like political platforms. Instead of focusing on innovation, he's spending his days tweeting nonsense about wokeness and culture wars. The end result? Tesla is bleeding customers, and Musk is too busy fighting imaginary battles to notice.
Elon Musk is the chainsaw man. He's hacking away at the grossly inefficient and occasionally corrupt government bureaucracy. He's paying the price for taking the lead. Progressives, who frankly hate him, are holding protests outside Tesla dealerships all around the country. They're trying to ruin his business. Charging stations have been vandalized and burned. Demand for Tesla cars in Europe plunged after Elon tried to influence politics over there. The stock prices plummeted, costing Musk personally $132 billion. So it was interesting to see the very human Elon Musk interviewed by Larry Kudlow on Fox Business. He spelled out clearly what he's doing. He's precise, he's transparent. Every action taken by the Doge team is put on the doge.gov website for all to see. He's identifying $4 billion worth of what I would call cuttable spending every day. With the support of President Trump, he is leading the revolution in how our government operates. The Democrats have nothing. They won't identify any waste and fraud in a federal government that spends $6.8 trillion a year. They're clearly still the tax and spend party. That's not good enough. With $36 trillion in debt, the deficit's more than $1 trillion a year. We spend more on interest payments than on defense, and the left uses obscenity to describe Elon Musk, the only one doing anything about the debt mess that we are in. And that's how they describe him, with obscenities. The media is playing its usual role, opposing anything Trump wants. They're highlighting what they call the chaos in government. What they're trying to do is change public opinion to bring down Trump's approval rating. That'll be tough because Trump's doing what voters want him to do. Closing the border, cutting wasteful spending, and Musk is nowhere near done. He has 100 members of his team now, that grows to 200. He's not stopping. He told Larry he's in this for another year. Musk, this is my opinion, Musk has more impact than any private citizen in modern history.
5. The emotional breakdown that proves he's losing it. It's not just that Musk is making bad business decisions. It's that he's starting to fall apart mentally. On a recent Tesla earnings call, Musk was on the verge of tears, rambling about how hard it is to run his companies. His voice was shaky, he sounded overwhelmed, and he didn't sound like the confident billionaire he used to be. People close to Musk say he's more erratic than ever. He makes impulsive business decisions without thinking them through, fires people on a whim, and lives in a constant state of paranoia that people are out to get him. This isn't just bad leadership, it's a sign that Musk is spiraling. He's not the bold, fearless entrepreneur he once was. He's a man who's lost control of his own empire.
With IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Marching against the Teslas. How are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Marching against the Teslas. How are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient.
They're setting fire to various Tesla charging stations near Boston. Shots were fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Various nonviolent...
Shots fired, not a metaphor.
Shots fired, yes. Downtown New York, marching against the Tesla showroom. Your stock is way down. You've been criticized left and right.
But look on the bright side.
I mean, why are you doing this?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Yes. And you're on it.
Yeah. I mean, so the goal here is let's not have America go bankrupt with waste and fraud. So that's what...
Final thoughts. Is this the beginning of the end? Elon Musk built his legacy on innovation, risk-taking, and a cult-like following that believed he was a genius. But now, even his biggest supporters are waking up. His companies are in decline. His credibility is gone. His public image has gone from tech visionary to billionaire man-child having a meltdown online. So what happens next? Will Musk finally face real consequences? Or will he somehow spin all of this into yet another success story? One thing's for sure, This meltdown is only getting worse. What do you think? Is Musk finally losing his grip? Or will he weasel his way out of this mess? Drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe to Celebrities Pain for more deep dives into the biggest ego collapses of our time.